Color artist. I'm on the back page, and they asked me to write about my favorite spot to paint. And guess where it was? It was Virginia. And I love to just drive around and get lost. And this was a place in the country going toward Winchester. And I just got off a road and found this beautiful old farm. So that's the painting that is in the magazine article. So that will be out. And then I did want to tell you all, I have one last workshop. I have to advertise. I have one final workshop in this country coming up, and it's at the Lorton Workhouse, September 21. So I guess what I'll do, I don't know, should I pass this around? This is just information. I'll pass it around. If anybody's interested, grab one. It's always on my website. I always have everything, all classes and everything, posted on my website. So that's my final workshop for 2025 that is here. And I also do plein air events. So while you guys are having your show here in the fall, I will have just gotten back from Italy, and then 3 days later I'll have to be in Florida for a week-long plein air event. Not quite sure how that's going to work out yet because I have terrible jet lag, but that's kind of my life. I do paint studio and plein air events, both. And right now I have a painting in California at the National Watercolor Society show, which I'm so honored to be in that. That's really hard to get into. And I have one in Missouri at another National Watercolor Society show. I have a solo show in Norfolk. I have one coming up at Frame Designs in September, which is in this area. And then I have a painting in South Carolina and another one going to Virginia Watercolor Society in a couple of weeks. And for those of you who are watercolor painters, how many people are watercolor painters? I know Patty is. Yeah, so you have a Virginia Watercolor Society, and there's an annual show every fall. This one's going to be at Radford University at their museum this year. And if you haven't been to your state show, I would really, really recommend that you go because it's pretty amazing. And the judge always tries to pick, a wide range, like abstract. It's water media, so acrylic, gouache, watercolor, realism, impressionism. It's just a really good learning thing. And they do have workshops, so I'd love for you guys to become members of the Virginia Watercolor Society. Okay, I have a website. Join me on Facebook and Instagram. The little thingy dingy is at the bottom of my website if you want to look. The one thing I'm sure I'll tell pretty much everybody today, and I can't help but teach, is if you need to work on drawing, there's a wonderful book called Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain. Who's heard of it? By Betty Edwards. Really, it's the Bible of drawing. I know your library has got to have it. And I encourage students to get this book or the workbooks all the time. And people who've taken my class, I use things from the book all the time. It's just imperative to up your drawing skills, no matter what medium you're in. I suppose sculpture, it doesn't matter, right, or glasswork. Okay, so I wanted to tell everybody that. So I am getting ready to judge the show at the Fredericksburg Center for the Creative Arts, and I thought before I started I would tell you guys what I look for when I'm judging, and I think I'm not atypical. I'm very technique-oriented, no doubt. So, sorry. I am going to look for technique, and we're going to be going through this today. So if you need to work on technique, I know you know it, and I know that everybody knows it. You can never work enough. I myself, I've been painting for 40 years. I'm still learning every day. I'm still working on drawing. I'm still working on technique. I'm still learning things. And the day I stop learning will be a very bad day. So just really keep working on that. So technique is the first thing I look for. The second thing is a narrative, a strong narrative. Do you guys know what that means? How can I express it? You're telling a story with your sculpture, your pottery, your painting. You're presenting that lighthouse. Okay, a lighthouse is a good image to use. Everybody paints them. You're taking it, this common thing, and showing it in a different and unique way. Maybe somebody's falling out of the lighthouse. I would give that a second look. I've never seen a painting of somebody falling out of a lighthouse. I'd give it a second look, right? So a strong narrative. I'm always looking for that, and I think most judges do. Those are the top two things. And then after that, it would be soft and hard edges, color temperature, use of color, values, and maturity. So those are the things that I'm always looking for as a judge. And this is very important. When you start entering competitive shows, read the rules. So recently I judged a show at the Art Factory in Manassas. I think it used to be called the Candy Factory. And there were some beautiful, beautiful paintings that got kicked out of the show because they were too small. And the people who put on the show said to me, they have to follow these size rules. And I felt so bad because there were a couple that were very small and they were exquisite portraits. They should have maybe even been award winners, and I had to kick them out. Read the rules, okay? Very important.
Yeah, do that for our show too.
Thanks, Catherine.
Read the rules, so important. Okay, so let's get started. And I did bring one of my paintings. This was a class demo in Norfolk a couple of weeks ago, and I only brought it so I could show you framing. There's another thing that a judge might look at in person is framing, okay? Very important. This is a quiet frame, neutral matte, nothing fancy about it. Your eye goes right to there. That's what a judge wants to see. We don't want to look at the frame. We don't want to be confused about a dark matte or something that conflicts or competes. I have brought a bunch of frames from my own framer, and I will give you that information at some time today. Okay, who's first?
Me.
Jill, is this yours?
That's yes.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, it's right next to it.
Flowers. Okay.
That is just a little, that's not finished. It didn't do exactly
Can
what I
everybody
wanted
see?
it to. It's supposed to be mist rising off the water with a fall scene in the back.
Okay. Well, I always like to get back, so I'm going to get way back. So, Jill, I think I remember you working on this in class, don't I?
No, that's a
Nope.
new one. But
That's a new one. So,
yeah,
okay.
I had one that was a
Is this the
fall
fog and the mist?
scene. Yes. It wasn't really a foggy day. It was just the mist rising off the water when it got
Okay.
cold.
I would say values.
Yeah.
We all struggle, especially watercolor painters, we struggle with values. And when I talk about values, I'm talking about the darkest dark is 10, the lightest light is a 1. So this is a 1. And you've gotten to a middle value, about a 4 or 5, but you're way away from a 10. So mostly middle values. I love the matte, and I have to say this is the perfect size. I love how it's a double matte, love how it's neutral, good choice on that. And it's a really great way to present your painting, of course. I also like your grays that you mix. You're really masterful at working and mixing those. It's a warm gray, and I love the fact that it's a warm gray. I am kind of wondering if this could be a different size. It's kind of repetitive. I'm not sure about the design. I think this is probably the focal point. Right now we have I think that we sort of have the horizon line in the middle. Is that right?
Yes.
It's almost to the upper top. Let's just use some matte pieces and see if we can do, I don't know, maybe not. I almost kind of wonder if that is a vertical. That's a little too tight. But I think maybe it's a little redundant.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
And I actually kind of like that a little bit better. We still have reflections, we still have fog. It's a unique size. Let's go back to technique, as the watercolor painter comes in. So I know you're working, I want you to continue to work. I think you're a good drawer. I just want you to really work on values. Narrative, I think there's a narrative there. It's a story. There's a story. What do you think about that? Cropping it just a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's better.
So I think that's the only thing I would say. I do believe you've used gouache here. I'd like you to work on, or is that gouache or acrylic?
It's just that
Yeah.
white.
I'd like you to work toward learning how to save your whites.
And that's, the middle, the part of it is just, the bottom part, that was saved, but I was trying to make
You
make it
can,
look like mist.
yeah, you
going
can
up
use
over it.
Mr. Clean.
I didn't know how to, oh, yeah. Mr. Clean.
Yeah, so watercolor painters know about Mr. Clean. So you can use Mr. Clean and just lightly dab it and use a paper towel to kind of wipe it. And then, because to me gouache, I mean, it's okay to use gouache, but it can make things a little chalky, a little opaque. And to me, part of the beauty of watercolor painting is the wonderful transparency of it, you know. It just makes me get excited when I see it. Uh-huh.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
The Mr. Clean, is that just liquid?
No.
No.
So Mr. Clean,
The magic eraser.
the magic eraser, so you can actually fix or repair mistakes, but once you use Mr. Clean on a painting, it does abrade the paper, so you can't go back in there. But if this was like the very last thing she was doing, and you put masking tape, so see, that's another thing, when I'm talking about value, I see gouache, 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 it's all the same value. And so a couple of them could be masking taped on the sides and Mr. Cleaned out a little, and you'll have different values.
Where would I put darker in that? It needs darker, and I don't know
Just,
what to do. On the trees, on the ground,
let's see,
I'm not sure where to put it.
I don't want to get your mat dirty. I don't think this is dirty. Maybe it is.
I don't
Still
care.
wanna-
I got the mat.
I'm not gonna-
For $5. I don't care.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking, this is really nice right here. That's a different value. Maybe a little bit of a blue, since this is the focal point, a little bit of an ultramarine blue behind here
Okay.
and behind here and behind here, just a smidgy to pop that forward and put it on another plane. That would work. But I really like the vertical. You know why also I like the vertical? Because you've got these vertical trees and it really makes it more pronounced. Beautiful, beautiful mat. Do you want me to just put it here? Again,
Gorgeous.
that's a really strong painting, and look at the values. Boom. You know, it really makes a big difference. You've also got, I would have to say, a stronger composition on this one. You know, we've got the L-shaped composition, pretty standard or well-known composition. You've got nice darks, you've got soft edges and hard edges. Technique is pretty good. Again, I just want to encourage you to, I think so the thing about gouache is I think we start relying on it. It's okay. I think this would make a fantastic photograph. You know, if you were entering a photograph in a show, I think it would photograph really well. But the thing is that these values are the same. And so I can see a little bit of the white of the paper there, which makes this rose more delicious than most of the others. Because you've got the white gouache and then the white of the paper there. And nice values, really a successful piece. And I love how it's matted. I like how you've left a bit of the rough edge. I think it's very beautiful. And let me get my frames out, and you know, so I have all these frames. Let me get a pen so I can write down who I use here. So for years, I've been using the West Charlton Frame Company. They're a wholesaler out of West Charlton, New York, which is way up there by Canada. And a lot of watercolor painters use them. I'm sorry, they don't really do a lot of oil frames or plein air frames, so if you're an oil painter, that might not be helpful. but I've used them for years and they're incredibly inexpensive because they're wholesale, right? So, I think a silver would just be gorgeous on that. You know, just sort of an antique-y, quiet. And I just want everyone to see gold quite overpowers it. You see how that happens? So you want to keep it quiet for this particular, we'll look at a wider one, but I don't think, see, I don't like that as much. I like a narrow, quiet frame for this one. Really puts your eye right into there. Any questions? Okay. Who's next?
BJ.
BJ. I don't know where's
I'm
BJ?
right here.
Hi.
Hi, and those two.
These two?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw Jim bringing in some of the work, and I saw him shifting this, right? And he said, well, I want to take people one and then separate it and then do the other. And I saw these two come in, and my first thought was whimsical.
Oh, yes.
Boom, you know?
Yeah.
And so you have a story, you have a narrative, and I even see what you're wearing. Whimsical. Whimsical. So I feel like you have a lot of whimsy. I'm sorry I keep moving around. I can't help it.
That's okay.
That's how
You know,
I teach.
we can
so-
still hear you.
Okay. So we'll put this up.
Very nice.
So I think that you as an artist have a very strong narrative of whimsy and lightheartedness. And if anything, I would just encourage you to just keep going and push the edge on that all the way that you can. Is there a story behind this other than it's a scene you like?
Well, I do flower. I'm relatively new at painting. I've been a fabric artist for a long time, so a lot of the patterns and things are coming from my work with the with
That's
patterns.
interesting.
And I consider myself a folk artist because I'm untrained. I have never taken classes.
Well, I like it. It's very colorful. Is it acrylic?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I would say is I would encourage you to find a better signature, because in the historic realm of things, if someone is ever looking up BJE,
Yeah.
they'll never know who that is. What is your last name again?
Elfgren.
Would you mind putting BJ Elfgren? Because that's a really great name, and then people could look you up. If someone saw your work somewhere, they could look you up. Do you have a website or anything?
I have an Etsy store.
Okay, Etsy, okay. So it'd be really great to do that so that people can locate
Okay.
you. You know, and, artists normally do, I sign my full name so that people can find my website, find out where I am, where they can buy my work, so.
That's a good idea.
And then in 20 years, if I'm gone in 20 years, they can look me up and see, where my work is, so.
Right.
But I think you're very fanciful. I wanna, try some frames on this, let's see.
I almost always use a float frame.
A what?
A float.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
With the shadow and then the white.
Okay. Okay, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look. Oh, I don't like silver on that at all. I like gold on yours. I've not seen it in the golf cafe, but I think for you a really wide frame would be great. Really, 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 really wide. I'm trying to see if I have anything else.
Yeah.
That would give it a lot of space.
Yeah.
Your work is very busy, mine is too, and so we need a lot of space between the artwork and the frame. Okay, so that's the only thing I would say. Very colorful and fun. I don't know quite where to put these. I don't know, should we? Yeah, I don't want any damage.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if this will fit on here. It might not. It's not gonna fit, so I'm just gonna hold it up for everybody. again, okay, strong narrative.
Got me over.
Yeah, do you mind? You want me to move this? Strong narrative.
Now, there's a sign on the way that says 3 Fox Vineyards. And I keep seeing that sign, and that's what inspired this thought.
Yeah, it's really colorful. So, you kind of have, I don't know which is the focal point. Is it that or is it that? It's hard for me to tell. It sort of looks like the moon is the focal point, and it's almost in the middle, but not quite. So just so you guys know, they always say don't put the focal point in the middle, but if you do, be sure that the quadrants are all different sizes, and they're very asymmetrical. Very fun, folk art for sure, whimsical for sure, and I would just push that whimsy in every way you could, because that's your thing. You found your thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say to everybody, find your thing, For one thing, find your medium, right? It's fun to play as much as you can, but eventually something should give you, I get goose pimples. When I'm thinking about painting water, I love watercolor, okay? And I've used many other mediums, but watercolor is my thing, and I'm very excited when I'm getting ready to paint. So eventually you'll find your thing. It might be photography, it might be sculpture, hand building, it might be watercolor, it might be acrylic, but I think you have your thing and you love it. And I actually see it through the work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who's next?
Gary?
Oh, the deer and the large one over on the side.
The very big one that
Yeah.
will not go on my easel,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, night scenes, not many people do them. What's your last name, Gary?
Close, very
Okay.
close.
Not many people do night scenes.
Yeah.
I love night scenes, and I actually like to paint them too. So I can tell already that and by the big one, you are really a courageous painter. I can tell.
I take a lot of risk.
I can tell you do, yeah. So, I think that's pretty good. I do really like the frame.
Oh, good,
I
because my
really,
wife hates it. I like it.
I really like it.
Good.
recorded?
Yeah.
I don't know
Tell
what
her.
what would your wife like on it? Did she tell you?
I'm not sure that's her favorite painting. It's been in and out of a gallery, and it's not getting any love. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with it? I've even thought about doing something crazy, like putting some sort of surreal halo around the head of the deer. I really have. I mean, I've thought about doing something really nuts.
Well, let me just tell you a few little pointers
Okay.
about painting night scenes. So you're right, there would be light here, but there would be probably a bluer line on the left side of that tree and a bluer line on the right side of that tree. It wouldn't be the same value white. The moon would hit it with light on either side, and then it would be in pretty dark shadow on the other
Okay,
side.
all right.
So I think that would be helpful if you can still do
I
that.
can do it.
I love that, and that you were very judicious not to put more. Good for you. The same thing on the body of the deer. It would be, so see, this is all the same color temperature. It's
Right.
all warm. So it would actually be a cooler color temperature on the right side of this antler and on the right side of that antler, which might be a bluer color, more purpley color. So think of it as warm, cool, warm, cool, warm, cool, warm, cool.
Okay.
And the same with the shadow. It's all the same value, color, and color temperature. So I think your color temperature is a pretty advanced thing for people to think about. And I'm just wondering if you just haven't learned about it yet. And I have a feeling that you're right there and you're ready to learn about that now.
Yeah.
So just start reading all you can about color temperature,
Okay.
because you're totally ready. And it'll just bump this piece up a little bit more. I love the warm colors here, but it would be true back here too. Some of this might be cooler and almost black, and some of this might be a little cooler.
Yeah.
But if you'll just do those little teeny weeny cool versus warm color temperature changes, I do think it would make a bit of a difference.
Okay.
Strong narrative, no doubt. Did
I
you
thought
do?
it was kind of cool how the trees and the antlers sort of work together.
Oh, repetition with variety. Yeah, it is true. I do like that. I'd like to see the cool and the warm and the cool and the warm. And rather than white, it might be white and yellow
Okay.
or white and orange. Do you have a photograph that you work from?
No.
Okay, cool, okay. So just think about color
The
temperature.
thing I worry about on the yellow is that, because I thought about a yellow moon, but I just.
No,
it
not the
didn't feel
moon.
Right.
The
Yeah.
moon is perfect.
Right,
So the moon would hit this with some warmth.
yes, okay. I
With
never
some
thought
warm-
of that. I thought it would be cool. Okay,
It would be warm on the side next to the light, cool on the side away from the light.
I'll do that.
Just very subtle, not very much.
Okay.
And look on the internet at some other moonlight pictures and see if you see similar things and how they handled. And see if you see color temperature.
Okay, all right.
It's not something that I would ever teach in a beginning class. So I'm just saying, you're not a beginner. I love the texture on this already, now that I'm looking at it.
And it's funny, these lights kill it, because if you take that out in the sun, that gold is gold. I mean,
Yeah, and you know what, it's all, so, again, you're a very courageous painter. I love I really like the big size of this. Cool and warm color temperatures. This is where you need to go now. You need to start investigating that. Because physics tells me, by the way, what time of day is this? I can't tell.
well, I don't know.
Which is a bad thing, if I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
tell. So physics and light tells me that this can't possibly all be the same color
That's true.
from back to front and from whatever that is, west to east. So usually I tell my students to cool down the back area of a plane with some blue, very light, just a light glaze. I don't know how, is this oil or acrylic?
Oil.
Oil. So I know you can glaze a little bit of a light blue
Yeah, I
back
can
here.
easily do that.
And
yeah.
as soon as you do that, boom, it'll
Pulls it
come
out.
forward and go back.
Now, I will tell you that I try to hit, I want a little bit of a surreal look to it. That's the
Sure.
whole point.
And it'll give you, it won't take away from that.
Yeah.
And you do have the surreal look.
Okay.
Is that a moon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I
That's
love that.
gorgeous.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful
It's great.
and beautifully done. And, you know, again, a few of these little, it does look like these are a little warmer. See, you did do that right
It's
here.
just Out of my head.
And that's exactly what you need to do. And then these would not be warm like that. And this also could have, this is kind of not, that's not as interesting as the rest of the painting to me. I'd like to see a little of the gold maybe popping up on the face of the house somewhere. And maybe it's even bouncing up under the eaves here, just a little bit. I love how that color comes through. Beautiful. And it is surreal, but you just need to make that a plane that has some warm and some cool. It goes back instead of, it just kind of like in my face. And that's sort of the focal point, really.
Yeah.
And I think you want that or that to be.
Yeah. What
Okay.
about the composition? That's been the thing that I've been kind of,
Composition is okay. You've got,
I think the moon should have been on the other side.
no, I don't think so. Obviously, civic, let me get my pad. That's really what you get. You can probably put that down, Jim, I'm sorry.
He is a courageous painter allowing me.
So, you know, they say that in composition, the golden rule is that the focal point should be either here,
Yeah.
that's where you kind of have it, or here, or here, or here. This is the one that most people choose, okay? It should never be here,
Right.
which we were just talking about. However, if these quadrants are asymmetrical, this is okay. So you have, I think the thing is, I'm a little confused, okay? Is your focal point here or is it here?
Well, I wanted it to, I'm glad you said that. I kind of wanted the house to be the focal point or the field.
I think the house is right now.
Okay.
Because of the way you've subtly done the moon, the only thing about the house is that it could use, it's sort of like a dead gray. So could it have a little yellow bounce from the field coming up under the eaves? Because that really is what light does. When light hits a field of yellow, boom, it pops up under the eaves of a house just a little bit. So just make it a tiny bit more interesting, I guess.
let me ask one more question and then
Ask,
I don't
no,
wanna-
you're fine. Mhm.
So I almost did this and then I didn't, which is I thought, it needs like an S curve coming up towards the house through the field. And I put some kind of old truck on it. And then I went, no, then
It's
the
too
painting's all
much.
about the truck, yeah. Yeah.
So this is a quiet painting, and the reason is because you have the horizon line and the midline, okay?
Right,
So that's your painting, here's your painting, the focal point is here, a secondary focal point is there, and that's basically the painting. I love all the texture going on here, that's really good, that makes it an interesting area. Now, the other thing you can do in that, but probably not on this one, I don't know. When you have the horizon line in the middle, that makes it, some people say boring, or peaceful, or gentle. Yours is pretty peaceful, although you have this exciting meadow. So I think out your design before you get started, and really just think it through carefully. So had you done a low horizon line with the house and the moon, that would be a different story. And if you had done a high horizon, it would have been all about the field.
right.
So it is a little tiny bit confusing. It feels pretty peaceful, but then you put that electric field in it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, just things to think about.
The name of the painting is Fields of Solace. That's what the name of the painting is, okay. Good, thank you.
Just, so let me just stop there for a minute and say this. So composition is really important. And you don't really want to work it out while you're painting. You want to work it out before. So if I'm going to get a good painting, I always do a little like 3x5 design, and it's super simple. It's a couple of values. It's no details, nothing, just shape. It's just shape. It's nothing other than that. And I can usually see right then and there, oh, that looks terrible, and I'll change it and do a different design. But if you can start doing little 3x5 designs and you have the title, I like to title things first too, because it keeps me, thinking about my focal point. So you might have made a different choice and made it like a high horizon line with only the field. But I think maybe you like to paint, I do too. And so, you've got a lot of things going on. And so just think a little bit more about design.
Okay.
I know you talked about the S-curve, and that's a design that I like to use too. There are many design adages. We'll talk about, like this is more of an L, which is a nice design. Okay, any more questions? I'm more than happy to answer. Okay, if I can.
Next is Dawn's. She's got the two
Dawn,
Dawn. She's
Yeah,
got,
the sunflower and the
those
turtle.
two.
okay. Good morning, Mr. Turtle is an 8x10 watercolor on paper.
I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it.
Well, we're glad you did.
Fate, made it so I would be off work.
Okay. I took this picture 2 weeks ago in paddleboarding. Okay. If you coast into the area slowly and quietly, the turtle's flying around. Very sweet. I want to actually go ahead and look at your other painting too. Lunchtime is a watercolor on paper. My brother took this 2 years ago. It's a praying mantis eating a pea. TMI. I'm kidding you. Okay. So you guys notice the glass is very reflective. And I sold a painting recently, and the customer didn't like the reflective glass, so they went and they purchased, I'm just adding this in, I can't help it, I have to teach, okay? They purchased non-glare glass. So there are many types of non-glare glass. Some are like hideously expensive, and then they go down the range. And it does lower the glare, but also it can fuzz up the image a little bit. So, and of course, I ship a lot, so I don't use glass. This is just for you guys to know. And no show will take glass, only plexiglass. So I use UV art plexi. My wholesale framer has, you know, from the lowest cost to the highest cost. And I do go with the lowest cost because, you know, it's better for me. But anyway, so you can just see the glare. This one would actually profit from non-glare glass just because I cannot see the image too well. So you've
Catherine,
got,
may I say something?
go ahead.
So that is a pre-made frame that I got off of Amazon. I am currently teaching myself how to make frames, and the brown one you see is a frame more that I have made myself. Like I cut the pieces, I did the measuring, so I'm trying to teach
You did
myself
a really good
to
job.
frame right now, but I did not have enough time to do
Okay.
the other one, so.
So I really like this frame better. You're gonna need to get a
Yes.
frame, okay.
And I'm trying to teach myself right now how to mat also. I got the tools. There's not a mat on that because I don't feel I'm proficient enough yet to do a mat on my
Got it.
own and make a frame.
Yeah, framing is very important. I actually kind of like this. You couldn't go even whiter. You know, watercolor really needs a lot of space to breathe. But I kind of like this. I like the simplicity. Ordinarily, I'd say don't go so dark because it could kill the painting, but it doesn't. Your colors are strong. You can do this without glass if you mount the paper. Do you know how to do that? We talked about that.
Yeah, we had talked about it in class about how to get it flat and get it on there. So again, it's just, I'm new at it. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure it out still.
So you can mount the paper if you go to Home Depot or something, get masonite, take a jigsaw, cut the masonite this size. I see you have masonite back there. And use, it's online, or write me an email and I'll send you some things. But you can do that, and then you can spray the surface with Krylon fixative for watercolors.
So I did that.
Oh, you already did it?
I did before I put the
Great.
brown part on there.
Terrific. And then this can be matted without glass or matte. That's another way to mat watercolors. And that is usually my preferred way when I go to plein air events, because the customers there like it better. They don't like the glass or the plexi. They really like when there's just a frame and the surface. And sometimes I also use cold wax. But these are archival products that I use, which can be taken off by an archivist later if it ever needs to be. But it makes it to where the surface, I could use a damp cloth and clean it if I want to. So that's a nice way to present a watercolor. So just email me.
Okay.
We don't need to tell everybody today here. So I really like the way you framed it. I would even go wider. Of the two, I think that's your more successful. You guys might notice the focal point is in the lower right quadrant. Had she put it in the center, it would not be as successful. Nice use of yellow. Yellow is a very bad, difficult color to work with in watercolor paint, but I think you did a really good job. I like where you have your signature. I think that's a really nice piece, John. Okay. Do you have any questions on this?
So I had put 5 layers of that spray, like, you know, how you have to do it and then come back.
Yep.
And would you think that 5 layers is good for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to smell it to see. It's a very toxic spray. You never want to use it inside.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a good spray. Yeah. If you did 5 coats on this, just mount the paper. Because otherwise, when this is hung in humidity, it's going to pop out and bow.
Okay.
So send me an email and I'll send you some YouTube sites on how to do that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let me look at this other one now. So something's really bothering me about it. First of all, let's look at a different frame. You know what? Too much pattern.
Okay.
And it's competing with, that's a busy painting, busy frame, they're fighting. Do you guys think so? So I think we need to quiet the framing down. That's what I'm thinking. Now that doesn't mean you need to go out and buy a new frame or anything, but just quiet. I want to see how that looks. That's too strong. Let's see how that looks. That's not bad.
Okay.
Just quiet. It could be, I like the width, but I think that's too wide, but just a light, like a pale gray or something like that, just to kind of quiet it down. So as a painting, I'm gonna take this one off. Are you guys enjoying it?
Yes.
You're bored?
No.
Okay, so I'm a little bit, I just think that's not important.
Okay, okay.
The viewer, I know that I understand, I kayak too, I understand it's really beautiful, but in the end, what is the narrative? Is the narrative about the grass? No. Is the narrative about the turtles? Yes. So you just want to be courageous, brave, and just knock right in there and tell me what it's about.
Okay. There was a question I had as far as technique that
Mhm.
I was gonna ask you. So on the top of the shell and the top of the turtle's nose, there was actually a little bit of, I could not create the light blue, and I was trying to stay in watercolors and
Not
not go to gouache.
Not
Do you
important.
feel that that reflection of that sunlight coming off of the turtle shell with it being absent affects it a lot?
No, I don't think so. So you're trying to get a little reflection on the top of that top. I'm seeing a little bit. What you could have done was to make it stronger, its value. So if you wet the turtle shell and you paint and hold the paper upright and let the majority of the pigment go to the bottom so that it's more light up at the top, dry it, wet it again, put pigment on it with more paint down here and not much up there, and you would repeat the process until you got what you wanted.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, it does work. The turtles are right in the middle, but you can see the quadrants are different. It's different there, it's different there, it's different there, it's different there. So it totally works. So even though you're not supposed to put the focal point in the middle, if you do it and you have asymmetrical quadrants and you do it with panache and say, I know the rule, I'm breaking it, ha! You know, then that's good, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Karen?
Samaya, those black frames flipped upside down.
Okay.
So, and there's,
Oh, I'm so glad that I can look at your photographs because I'm a real fan.
I don't get to see the same.
I'm a real
So-
fan. Is that the right way?
the yellow flower goes to the right.
Okay.
So I've printed that. There's another lighter version.
Oh, I love that paper too.
So,
Ew. I'm putting it down.
all right. Well, and therein lies the question,
Yeah, which way?
Yeah, therein does lie the question.
right?
Yeah.
Which way does it go?
Mm.
And is stronger color better? So in the lighter one, you see more details on the middle, like.
Which
it's
one
been
is lighter? The
textured.
one on the left?
The one on the left is lighter.
Okay. I've got a
Is it
mat.
lighter or brighter?
I was gonna say, it seems brighter.
Yeah.
Not
as dark as the other one.
Well, when
Yeah.
you get in close to the details
can
on the
see
center, it's different on the one on the left. It looks more sketchy, more like it's been sketched.
I don't know, this is more intriguing to me. This one, do you got, okay, if you want the one on the right, raise your hand. If you want the one on the left, raise your hand, okay.
But I like the flower on the yellow on the right.
You like it on the right, that's
The yellow on the
okay.
right, but I like the lighter left.
Oh, that's interesting too. I do kind of prefer that one. There's something
It's texture.
muted or, yeah, textural or something. There's a gray, I don't know what it is, a gray quality.
You have to
Um,
look closer at what is it you're actually looking at.
You know
on
what, I
that one.
think on this one, it might be the matte doing that. I'm really thinking so. Is that any better? Do you guys see that?
Ah,
No?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Some people think so, some people
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
opposite.
so.
I
I think the gray to me is a little overpowering. can't, let me see if I can put it here and then get back. Yeah, that color is not the right color.
The
It's
bright
too-
white map.
Yeah, it's too. So you know, there are, I don't know if you guys know, there are thousands of whites. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
So let's try a couple of other colors on here. Nope. I have to see it from back, so you guys tell me if this is my favorite, one of my favorite colors right there.
It's just a little.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Well, that's
Can y'all see it?
Is it?
Yeah.
We couldn't see it on.
Yeah, I want everybody, I don't know, what do you think about that one? No? This is
That's different.
white, it just says white.
But it's better than the.
That's actually a cold white.
Yeah.
This is, no, I don't like that.
Just see it for a minute.
Too warm,
Yeah.
too warm. I kind of like the cold white a little bit, maybe as an undermat or an overmat, I don't know. But, what are your questions?
So the questions were, so I tend to like a lot of color
Yeah.
and a lot of stark. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't overdo that. And I love the texture in the one on the left,
Mm-hmm.
but my eye naturally goes to like more deeper color. And I've been arguing with myself over which one, and so I was,
Yeah, that must be hard because you can make a lot of choices.
I
on
can
your
change it.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
play with
even,
those sliders for a week.
yeah, I can't even
14
imagine. That
different
must be really difficult to play with them all.
things. So that seemed to call for, being printed on, watercolor paper rather than photography
I
paper.
agree with you, definitely. I love the texture of it.
Is the one on the left on watercolor paper?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Both
I
of
like
them are,
that. I like
actually
it.
both
Oh,
of them
okay.
are.
All right.
I just really like, I think I prefer the one on the left, but you have to make the final decision. You're the editor. I think the gray mat is a little smidgy too much to me.
Too much.
Just a smidgy. What color would it go? I don't know. I do like the fact that it's a single mat. Because I use a lot of double mats, but sometimes you don't need a double mat, right? I didn't bring that many colors with me today, so I don't have anything else. But if you work with a framer, or you can go to Bainbridge or Alpha Mat and get their book that has all those matte colors in it. You might have to pay something for it.
Would
I
you
don't know.
frame it differently?
I think this is fine. I think it's fine. It's a pretty complicated painting. I mean, it's a pretty complicated picture, so I don't think I'd go too fussy, and you're not fussy. So for shows, you know, usually they want it very quiet, right? Bye, see you later, take care, sorry. I hope I'm not going too late. Okay. I like it. I think it's fine. Anyone else have any input on this, or? No? Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna look at the other one.
The other one's the same.
I'm gonna put this over here, because I don't wanna damage any frames, because I know they're expensive. I would like you, Karen, to take a look at my framer,
Mhm.
because he's really very, very reasonable. And I think that the kit for this was probably like under $100 for the double mat, the frame, the plexi, the wire, the backing, everything acid-free, and all I had to do was tape it in.
Mhm.
Boom. It's really, and it's good quality, and which way does this go now?
That way,
That way,
vertical.
vertical. Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna bend it, I'm sorry. I'm not sure, if it's heavy, I don't want anything to break. I think it's okay. Just trying to make sure it's okay. Feels like it's okay. It feels okay, as long as I don't.
No touch.
Ooh, I love that one.
That's a photograph.
And you have a narrow mat, but a wider frame, I like that.
That is, one of the this is a donation piece. So the picture there was a picture drawn by St. Jude's Kid.
Oh
And that
my
the
gosh.
original picture was that vase on a table in a room
Oh,
with some flowers in it. I
aw,
printed it, poked a hole in it, put a live Gerber daisy
aw.
on it, put it behind a piece of glass,
It's fabulous.
and
So great.
and shot it. And now I got arguing with myself on this one. Is it better muted?
Well,
Is
that's
it better?
fuzzier, and this, I like it this way.
You
Do
like
you
it
guys
more?
like
Yeah.
it sharper? Wow, that's wonderful. I like the way it's framed. Sometimes you can put a narrow mat in a wider frame, I like it. Very nice.
Is that on watercolor paper too?
The one in the frame is on photo paper. The one on the easel is on watercolor paper.
That's,
I like
that's
the
why
one
it
with
looks,
easel better.
did you, but I mean, is it different as far as the editing?
I
the
have
paper
to,
makes a
when I
difference.
print it on watercolor paper, I have to saturate the color.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
bleeds and
Beats
eats
it,
it.
yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I think you're, I think you're good to go. I really like photographs in a frame. I really like to see photographs in a frame. I know a lot of times I see them just mounted, and I think they need space, especially if they're really majestic. You know, I want to really see them treated like a queen or a king.
You mean as opposed to a canvas?
Yeah. You know, just on the canvas and
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm not-
That's my
I'm
personal.
not a fan of photography on canvas.
That's my personal thing. Maybe other people like it, but yeah.
It sells well.
It's
Yeah.
cheap too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. But I want to be really careful.
Okay, good, I'm done. I'll put a wire on it and comb.
Okay. Who's next?
All right, that small notebook there, yep, Cheryl's.
This is Cheryl. You? Oh, you've been working. I'm so happy to know it. Fantastic. All right.
What is it?
Put these over here. Okay.
Don't touch it.
Okay, I'll start with this one. I'm very proud of you that you're okay. This is a nice little pad, really nice to do little quick ones in, builds your confidence, because you know it's easier to do a little one than a big one. Beautiful wash. Wow, that's just yummy. I'd like to see a little bit of that more in here, because remember when we talk about whatever's up here, it's got to be a little bit down here. That's the only thing I would say. But don't worry about it now. Just the next time you do one, remember to put a little bit more paint down here. I see it there, which is perfect. That is a beautiful piece. If you mat that and frame it, I think you'll be very happy. Let's see, this is way too wide. But I don't know, sometimes these little ones actually look nice when you have like a really wide mat in it. And I think you want something subtle. Let me pull out anything subtle I have. This is nice and subtle. So maybe around like that. Quiet. It's a quiet painting. Very good, Cheryl. Good work. Boy, you're getting your washes down great. I'm so proud of you. That is great. Any questions? This is feels like a nice quality watercolor paper. Pretty.
It works well.
Yeah, pretty good quality. I think it's nice. Where's your signature? So how do you write your signature? I usually do it in pencil and then use a fine rigger in paint. I saw you used an ink pen. If you feel comfortable that way, it's okay. It's just sometimes I have to change my signature. Because
I just signed it.
yeah, so here's my process too. When I'm getting to the end of a painting, I start taking pictures and looking at them on my computer so I can self-critique. And, you know, I look at it, and another good way to do it is put it on Facebook, and then I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible, take it down, you know. And those two, for some reason, those two things really work for me. But I try not to put my signature on until the end, but I don't use ink because I might have to take it off again. But I self-critique, and I might take 10 or 12 photographs before I'm finally finished, you know, at the end. I keep looking at it, cropping it, switching it around. I have a fish one I've been working. I don't know if you guys have seen my koi one. That's my new series. And the other day I cropped it on the right, and by golly, if that isn't even better. So too late. Oh well. I already entered it in something. Oh well. Too late. Okay. So this one, is this watercolor or pastel?
Pastel.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've never seen you do a pastel. Okay, let me put my thinking hat on. Well, to me, the fence is the focal point right here. Is that where your eye rests, everybody? It's going around. My eye is traveling all around, and it's going there, and it's going around, and it's going there. Is there a story to this or anything, or is this a place you saw, or you just had it? Okay. Okay, I think it's a pretty nice pastel. A little cloudy, you know, it's not as fresh as it could be, but that's probably because you're just starting it. I think this is a little strong, the brown matte.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of this kind of frame, but that's me, okay? I know you probably want it to look a little primitive, is that right? A little
Right.
rustic, there's the word. I don't know, this is, you see what the difference is? Just, yeah, I guess part of it is this. It looks like an American West frame on a European,
Yeah.
you know, it's making me kind of nervous, okay? I don't know what else to say, okay? But see, that's sort of rustic, but quiet.
Right.
Not quite as rustic, and it's a flatter profile. I understand the color, I do think that's right. But this probably is a little strong. You've already paid for the matte though, so I would keep it.
Okay.
You know I'm frugal. I've told you that a million times. I think you were trying to pick up some of the colors in here, is that right?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, keep it, leave it, but just think about those things.
Okay.
Are there any other comments on this, or?
I think it has a wonderful feel to it.
It has
I
a
do
wonderful,
too.
Yeah.
it feels like Europe.
So calm and.
It does have a really calm feeling. Your other one did too. So that's really interesting that you said that. Maybe that is your thing. Painting calm, kind of restful paintings if people want to sink into.
I love the tiny sailboat.
You're very soft. Yeah. I think your composition here, I didn't say anything about that. I think that's really good too. This is the S curve. Very traditional. Brings us in, but we keep moving around. It is a nice composition, a nice design, well thought out. Yeah. I think that might be why the frame bothers me, because it's more textural, and this is very soft and quiet, you know.
Thank you.
I'm
So
gonna be responsible for that frame. I like old cowboy movies.
there you go. That would be great in a photo from an old cowboy
If we
movie.
get one of John Wayne, it'll be great.
That would be great. A pair of cowboy
All right.
boots. Who's next?
Pete Brown is the last one, and we can say anything we want because he's not here.
Where is it?
Yep,
This one?
so yes, that one.
Okay. So this won't go on my easel. I don't, oh, maybe it will on top of this thing. Let's see if it will. Hey, as long as nobody, you know, moves. Okay. Do you know if it's acrylic or oil?
I think it's oil.
Oil.
I think he does all of his.
I'm gonna get way, 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 way back. Okay.
He does acrylics a lot.
Okay, so we do have a pretty controlled color, very unified color, which is a very good thing to have a unified color. I like the little splash here on the tugboat right there. That's a nice little touch. So it's very quiet paint, even though it's a rough sea, it's still kind of a quiet painting. It looks to me like he used, limited colors, which is good. That's why it's so unified. There's a little white boat in the back, which looks like it's sort of soft edged. I like how he has both soft and hard edges. He's got good value use. Overall, I'd say pretty successful. I would like to see I see the edges are painted here. I would love to see a huge frame on this. Well, I don't know if I have anything, but I can look. I don't know. I can't see, what are you guys, not good? I don't usually like gold. Terrible. And I just don't know that I have anything at all. Because I don't usually do that kind of thing. Yeah. No. Yes.
The colors.
The color's nice.
The color's nice.
Yeah. But
Could
less
be wider
ornate.
though,
Probably would have to be huge,
Yeah.
really wide.
more flat
But
too.
because it's so big, I think a really huge frame would look great on it. And really, when you paint something this big, sometimes you want to say, this is the winner in the show. Look at this great, huge frame and painting, I'm treating this like king of the field. I don't know, I think it does deserve a really big frame, because I think not having one keeps it kind of in that picture area. But nice work. I love especially how I can see the canvas underneath. I always love that. And I also really enjoy the texture here. Almost looks like a palette knife could have been used. I don't know if he uses a palette knife.
He
but-
does.
Yeah.
Does he? Yeah, it looks like palette knife. So, and he's got a lot of different colors. So I like how there are different colors and different values in these, which, I was talking to you about your tree. Yeah, so you can see a lot of different colors and values, warm and cool. So I think that's all I have to
His
say.
other one is in that far corner.
But how do you like his signature? I think his signature is great with,
I like it.
with a nice short name.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
her
like
name's
it.
too long.
Yeah, but-
She's an initial.
Catherine,
Yeah.
you said
He's
you
got a
like
note on it as well.
the canvas under it, the texture of the canvas, so I've always thought that you're supposed to be gessoing until it's almost paper.
It depends
Before you
on your
start.
style. So I know in the plein air community, they're painting so fast now. They're doing a painting about an hour, and a lot of times they're using the undercoating underneath to show a lot and the texture of the canvas. I personally really love it.
Okay,
So yeah.
so it's all a matter of your taste as to
Uh,
what type
yes.
of art you're doing, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this one's a lot more saturated with not as much of the canvas showing, which leads me to say it's really a great idea to go to shows that are on a national level, like the American Impressionist Society show, the American Watercolor shows, all of these big shows, because you'll learn a lot and you'll see what people are doing. And also I get a lot of magazines, Plein Air, Fine Art Connoisseur, watercolor from the Watercolor magazine from France. It's just great to educate yourself as to what's going on in our mediums today. That's the best way.
He had a note there on that corner. I don't know if that.
Oh, I do see it. Heading home is just blah. Spring has sprung. I like that painting. Spring has sprung. Orange center theme last year. Hated it reworked as Impressionist. Hate it more. I suggest a box cutter. Okay. So this is very different from that. This is the traditional S curve. Could you hold that up again, Jim? I just want to see what composition he used on that.
Upside down L?
Yeah, it is kind of like an L, isn't it? Yeah, it is pretty much like an L. Okay, I just want to see if he was using different compositions. Okay, thank you so much. So this is the traditional S curve. You know, I actually feel that that one is more successful.
Oh, yeah.
It's less overpainted. This is very overpainted and overworked. And Pete, I love you wherever you are. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about. So I think there's a lot going on, and that's part of the thing. We have a path, we have a tree, we have flowers, we have a lake. Where's the story? And I am the guiltiest person of anyone who loves to paint and put a lot of things in my paintings. Of course I do. And then really what I end up doing is, trying to simplify from that. And I think that's important. So that narrative is really important. Turtles. It's not about grass, right? Moon. What else did we have? I'm trying to remember. Fantasy. Fantasy. But you can have a lot of things in fantasy, so that's okay. Flower. Bug. So on this one, I guess it's like, what is the narrative? And we have so many things that it's just a little overwhelming. So of all the things I would say is figure out what it is about. It's not about that. Is it about this? And then put all your things in there. I had somebody tell me one time, sacrifice everything for the benefit of the painting. This is a very famous watercolor painter named John Salmonen. And I think about that a lot when I'm at the end of a painting, I'm taking photographs of it, I'm self-critiquing, I'm like, maybe I need to sacrifice something. And that's actually what happened with my koi fish. There was a cunning little fish to the right that was under the water, and I loved him so much. But when I sacrificed him, it became a better painting. So, I find it more difficult probably than anybody, or just as difficult as anybody. So just remember that, sacrifice everything for the good of the painting. We could use mats on this to see. And I've known many painters who actually did cut things up and then, make it another painting. That's not bad.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we have several paintings in here. That's
attractive.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Vertical shape, vertical painting.
I like that.
I
Yeah.
don't either.
I don't like the two pink.
The three of them,
Right,
actually.
yeah.
That's
That's
better.
better.
That's much better.
That's a lot better.
That's a lot.
That's
better.
great.
Oh, that's really nice.
I like
That's
that.
nice.
That's really about the soft,
Yeah.
that time of night when the sun is just going down and everything's soft and dreamy. That's a beauty.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So, is that it? Lynn, you had,
I painted it once, I got stuck.
okay, so I think we did everything, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have a question before we all leave.
Okay.
It seems like you're drawn more to like silver, gold, the metallic-y frames.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if it's just my personal style. I actually can't stand those frames. Everything that I purchase and bring back home, I redo because I do not like those kind of frames. Do you go towards those because they sell better or?
Well, I have some galleries that I work with, and gold is out, they tell me. And they like this champagne color. Okay, so it seems to sell better. So I'm really glad you asked that question because framing is very complicated and such a pain in the, because, someone like Dawn is gonna buy this frame that you bought for $100 and she's gonna reframe it. My plein air events can be different because when I go to Suffolk, Virginia, they're actually kind of hot for gold. And then when I was up in Canada, no gold. They wanted a little more rustic, So I'm framing for galleries, and then I'm also framing for the plein air events. And for plein air events, I might not even be using a mat. I'm gonna have to use a wide, I wouldn't use this, but a wide frame and frame it like an oil. So, there are different audiences, and you're younger than me. So I think that a lot of the plein air events, our audience can range in age from, young people in their 20s all the way to older. And I do see a difference in what the different generations like. I do sometimes also frame just in a simple black. I find that is pretty good. And, you know, funny, I'm working on that right now for the next 2 plein air events. And they're each kind of different. The one in Florida, they don't like glass. They don't want any plexi or glass because all their houses have a lot of sunlight. And like I said, Suffolk, they like their gold. So.
Riche.
But
That's
I mean,
something.
isn't it seems like today you've been talking about frames, how does it complement the piece? So how does a gallery say, well, we don't, gold is out, we don't want it? I mean, what if it complements?
Well, they find so you might have seen though that gold doesn't actually complement many of these
But
paintings.
they did compliment Gary's.
But it did complement his. So you want to very carefully learn to train your eye. And maybe one way to do that is to go to a real framer, not like, oh, I'm not going to say any bad things, but you know what I'm talking about. Go to like this frame design company and take some things and look at what they do, you know. And if you look, you want to learn how to complement the painting. You want to learn how to, you know, this is it's taken me years because in my early days, my frames were highly criticized, you know, because I was going to Michael's buying a, you know, ready-made frame. I didn't know. But like, this is just a little too busy. But I wouldn't have known that 30 years ago. I didn't have the experience. It's an experience thing, you know. Now I don't mess with it because I have a wholesaler who, you know, I can even send them the picture and they've been framing for decades and they'll say this or this, you know, and I kind of let them decide.
I have a question.
Very
about,
hard question.
Gallery wraps. So, as you know, the large one there is a gallery wrap. What do you think about that?
I personally don't like it.
I'm not surprised by that, and I'm thinking that's maybe not the way to go.
Especially for, like I said, that's a king. You know, would you do that? Would the king
Right.
come that way?
So how do I frame that?
This one I would actually take to a good frame company and just ask for their opinions and maybe go to 2, you know, go to Michael's and see what they say and then think about it and go to galleries and look. So galleries want really beautiful paintings that complement the colors. So you want to look at the colors in a painting. I use a lot of, you might notice, blues and cooler tones. So that's why a cooler tone looks better on my work. And I have, you know, this painting right here. And this is a fairly contemporary, I would call it contemporary, Dawn might not. You know, fairly flat. A lot of houses are gray these days. This would go very well in any of the gray interiors. So, and that's very complicated because also home interior design changes. So next year, who knows? I mean, I think this year chocolate brown is the color. You know, and yellow. I feel the same way, and I don't paint that color. But you know, you're always thinking about home interiors, the style of the town I'm going to. This gallery I have is St. Simon's Island, Georgia, which is a very pricey place. So they want very subtle, and you know, it's not garish. They don't like anything garish, you know. I don't know if I answered your question at all. What medium do you paint in? Acrylic. So it's the kind of thing I had to learn over the years. Go to frame companies, see what they suggest. I have had some students come in with really dark frames on watercolor paintings. That's going to kill it. I don't know as much about acrylics. Go to shows for sure. I also frame subtly because, you know, I do competitive watercolor shows, and I am only allowed to use, this is called museum style framing because it's flat and nothing, no garbage or curlicues or any of that stuff. I don't mean garbage, but you know what I mean. So a lot of the competitive shows I can only matte in white or off-white and a silver, black, or wood tone flat-faced frame. So, you know, I go through a lot of frames. I told you I've got paintings all over the country right now. So I've got to also be kind of smart about that and get something that I can use in a plein air event and in a gallery and ship to a competitive show. Now, if you don't have to do that, there's also the issue of customers. What do they like? you know, and a customer wants the frame to go with their furniture. And there's a whole nother, you know. So I think my advice would be try to frame it well, you know, as well as you can. Learn about, you know, adding to the colors in your painting without overwhelming the painting, okay? That is really important. And, you know, just go to shows and galleries and see what they're doing.
Catherine,
It's always a really good way. Okay, any other questions?
are you building your own frames as well?
Well, I used to. I don't have time anymore. So this is from West Charlton Frame Company. You know, they sent me all these corners so that when I'm home I can go,
That was back in the day, okay, but now you, for these flat ones, you just get a certain amount of sizes that sent to you?
How do I deal with West Charlton Frame Company? So the frames came from them. So when I'm home, if I have a frame that I like on a painting, I can look at it and pick that. Or I can send them the image and say, I can't decide, what do you think? Because they have good advice. Although sometimes they pick a frame I don't really like. So.
Oh, so you send them the artwork?
No,
and then-
I send them a JPEG of the artwork. They look at it. I just do it electronically.
And then they send you the frame? Okay.
Yes,
Already
so I
built.
order by them online. I have an order coming in actually today. And I tell them the size of the image. So whatever, this is probably 16 by 20. I say the image is 16 by 20. I like frame, I don't really like this with that.
Yeah.
Frame number 2001, and I need a 3-inch mat. And I can figure out the math, but
Yeah.
they can do it too. And I say I want art plexi because I can do it with glass. And yeah, and they ship it to me, you know, pretty quickly. And if it's over $75, no shipping cost. Which is another
it's
bad
always
thing,
over $75.
because my shipping costs have gone up the wazoo. Here's a great thing for you guys to know. So I have a UPS account and a FedEx account. They're out. I just shipped a painting to California. You can imagine how much it is. So now I use a company called Pirate Shipping. PirateShipping.com.
Pirates?
A lot of artists are using them. They're a big wholesaler, and I guess they ship a lot of stuff because it's like a third of the cost of what it's been costing me. PirateShipping.com. And you go to their website, and it has all this silly stuff. It goes, ahoy, matey. It's very silly. Does anybody else have anything? I see a piece of art right here.
Oh, I just brought it to show Jim. I hate, because he's
Did you do it?
I did the painting, I didn't do the frame.
Well, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
This is what I would call just a fun piece, you know. And you know, for your house, you should do whatever you want. Who cares, right?
Well,
I
the
mean-
frame's busy and the painting's busy.
I actually like the
Yeah,
geometric
it looks good.
because it's in opposition to the curvilinear
Oh.
shapes in here. It works really well.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah. We've got sharp geometry and curvilinear. I love it. I love your cane too. I gotta find out where you got
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You made it.
You made that?
No, no,
Oh.
no. I make
love it.
canes, but this one, this is from California, from a particular
It's
kind of tree.
gorgeous.
I'm going to California next month. Maybe I'll get some wood.
Well, I might want to get one for my hubby. So. Anything else? Is that it? Any
I've got
questions?
one small one, I just wanna know if it's done. This is, I brought that as an extra.
Beautiful mat again.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, Jill.
Lovely. Yeah.
Looks very English.
It's just the bridge.
It's the bridge, yeah.
Very nice.
It's
Very
the-
nice. Very monotone. I love it. Very quiet. You have a low horizon. I think is that sort of the S curve? I'm trying to tell. Yeah, kind
A
of
little bit.
like that.
The stream.
Beautiful.
of the tree.
I don't see anything at all on this one. So you do have a wider value range on this. You've got like ones. 2, 3. This is probably a 7. That's probably a 7. You're not all the way to 10, but you know what? But Jill, I think you're a high key painter, so it's okay. As long as you get to 7 or 8, you're good. Yeah, you're a high.
I'm
You're
scared
definitely
of
a.
dark, you know. I have a hard time.
You know,
getting the
it's
dark.
hard. It's harder in watercolors too. It's a beautiful piece, beautifully matted, the right size. A quiet frame would look nice on it. I would never put very much on that. I don't know.
Silver.
You want me to look?
Well, no, I don't want to.
I'm trying to see where my little teeny one went. Just something small. By the way, I do have other distressed. Cheryl, here's a distressed, but it's quiet. You know, sometimes you want quiet, sometimes you want busy. That would be gorgeous. Just quiet. Yeah, that's a beauty. And by the way, pricing, I guess we could talk about pricing just a little bit. So price it up, guys. Otherwise, you're telling people that art is of no value.
And your art is of no value. That's what you're telling
And your
people.
art is of no
Right.
value. And you know, you want to count the frame, the whatever else, the supplies, the paper, the substrate, the brushes, the used paint, which I can't claim for my taxes, but I can put it here. Your time, your experience, the maturity, all of the lessons you've taken to get there. So price it up. All right. So I think, anybody else? Is that?
Okay, I think for the sake of time, thank you.
Thank you. I like it.